Hey everyone, welcome back to Rich Hits. So today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind. I put this in my very first video about fake influencers in human resources. The ones I'm talking about, the people who seem to pop up everywhere with flashy advice that sounds great, but doesn't really hold up when you try to put it into practice. It's frustrating, right? And more than that, it can actually be pretty damaging when you do not actually get the results. Here's the thing: HR is a field that really matters for any organization or any person who cuts through them. And their advice you follow can make a big difference in terms of the work that you do and the lives of the people that you manage, right? Typically, HR cuts through everybody in the organization, from any form that you take, no matter whether it's a big or small. So when someone who doesn't really know the subject and what they're talking about starts giving out tips, it can lead to some serious issues, right? So today I'm going to talk about a few examples of this set of people, breaking down why these so-called tips don't work and chat about what actually happens with these set of folks. And this isn't about pointing fingers. Of course, that's not my intention. It's about making sure everybody who follows or gets to see these have the right information to secure a job or put in the best efforts in the right direction to land where they want to land, right? Some of these information could be misleading and it's going to disappoint you and going to be disappointing you very badly. And now look at some of these influencers who are on Instagram. So I've just picked up the ones on Instagram so far. So there are more than these people that you see typically in your everyday world. They may be on TikTok, they may be on LinkedIn, or could be even on X, right? But for today, we're focusing only on a few samples and talk a little more about it. So hope you can update the audio if you could hear it as well. Let's see. Um, if you don't get the result in your intended way. So here this person says, the point of view, use my 30-day job hunt strategy to land a job. And in her description says, follow whatever the job hunt strategy that I'm going to give you. And you are going to land the job within 30 days, right? So yeah, so she's typically trying to get some engagement by asking people to comment on job hunt, and she's going to send a document. So that's brilliant, right? So if in case she's genuinely wanted to help people, she could probably put up in a bio and let it out if that's the true strategy, and not just focusing on likes and comments and get some engagement to her page, right? So intent is good, probably. If it's a true intent to help out people, there are many other ways to get this done. So anyway, it's weird. She got some 300 likes, and there are people who have been commenting as well. And yeah, I think she's responding. Maybe send, please check your DM, whatever. So weird. I mean, did she really send to everyone? All 300 people? Yeah, that's so weird. Anyway, all right, let's move to the next one. This is about a soft skills trainer, perhaps. So she's saying she forgot to tell you something, and how can you just justify your career gap in your resume? Why do you have to justify your career gap in the resume? You have to put the facts, right? So, and I don't think so these days people are really bothered about your career gaps because we are dealing with a lot of changes in the market and people are literally trying to find job opportunities, and doesn't matter when your recruiter calls you up. And throughout the career, I don't think so we're really bothered about career gaps as such. As long as when we speak to the candidate and they're able to tell what it means, I think we should be good with it. And some pretty good advices, but I think I did like it somehow. I put up, why don't you guys encourage to speak truth? I mean, yeah, So she doesn't know if the problem is only within this scope of areas. There could be anything else, right? So anything. Anyway, yeah. The next one is even more interesting. She doesn't know English and she doesn't know to code. And this guy says that she landed a job in Amazon. And she says that she typically followed YouTube videos to just learn coding and code Google as well. And she landed in Amazon. And before she could do that, she had 24 lakhs package at Amazon. That's wonderful. And he interviews her in English, and she has a lot of followers on LinkedIn that I've seen. And she's put that she's working in Amazon as a data analyst, which is great. If that's what it is, but is really Amazon hiring such people who can't even speak English? I really doubt, because their standards are pretty high. And but how could she get into such a large organization when she can't even speak English? And she's promoting Google and YouTube to be their source of learnings, technology or coding, where that's a low end advice for me. Right? No English, no coding, still got placed. That is title of the post. Right? And everybody starts writing. Let's see one more. And this guy says he's surprised why people are not using Chat GPT for job search. Yeah. And he says use these 7 job prompts to land a job in 30 days. Suggesting people to use Chat GPT to probably refine their English or any sort of resume, which is fine. But why are you saying that prompt is going to help him land a job in 30 days? How are you defining? I've seen these kind of posts very often, and 10 big companies were lazy Chat GPT, and you're going to land the job. And she says copy paste the job into Chat GPT and asking people to refine their resume according to it, and some Insta resume, it's going to develop the resume, it seems. Nobody so far in all of the videos that we've seen, they haven't asked people to be honest in any of their description. They haven't asked them to put their self into what they may be using. Using technology is no harm, absolutely. We leverage that for a good reason, but we have to put a human element into what we are looking at. As a hiring manager or as a recruiter, I would like to see the candidate's true self in whatever it is, right? If your resume looks brilliant, fantastic, in terms of design, content, and you can't come and speak to me what you have written in the resume, you are going to fail right there. Yeah? Weird. And this guy says exact cover letter template that landed in to get 8 visa sponsored UK jobs, even before he quit his 26. And that's it. And does it look any interesting to any of you? And you ask again, engagement. Yeah? Just comment CL and I'm going to submit you. And anybody could do it. Yeah? And does it really get people to get just the cover letter? Does people get interview invites and offer letters? That's it. That itself says how Instagram started out with these kind of influencers. So back it works deeply. And let's look at the last one, which is even more interesting. And this guy claims to be an HR officer, and he says, talks about several job portals that are out there and what they do and all of it. And even before he could say that, ask people to stop using LinkedIn or Indeed to apply for jobs. Instead, use them. Stop using LinkedIn and Indeed. And all of these job portals are the ones who do the job wrapping. They consolidate all the jobs that are available on these large portals to sustain, and that's the business model. No harm. I mean, if you want to really gather a few jobs and go and see, even Monster for that matter, that's what they do. And some of the jobs are posted directly through their portals, and some are like the web crawl and everybody who posts on the career pages or rather on these social media platforms. They typically gather all together one side, probably see and they get like fit for pay kind of a thing, right? So weird. I mean, you can suggest people to go and explore either mind, but why are you asking people to stop using LinkedIn and Indeed? What did they do for you? Great share. However, graphic design jobs. Okay. And there are 2,760 likes. Okay. Yeah, so these are only just a sample of the influencers, and there are pretty many of them who are claiming to be the experts in this kind of subject. And I know it's a desperate market. People are trying to find job opportunities and just following anybody's advice for that matter because they're so frustrated and wanted to secure something. It's happening in India, it's happening in Canada, it's happening in the US, it's happening in some of the European countries, right? So nobody is an exception to this kind of thing. It's not your fault, it's about the economy and a lot many factors that contribute to it. That doesn't mean that you are going to feel inferior about it and keep a low perception about yourself. Keep trying, give your best, use the technology, no problem about it. But all that I would say is don't fall for cheap tricks. Be yourself. That's what I see. If I'm interviewing somebody tomorrow, look at the truth of myself, and that's what a majority of hiring managers do, right? It's not that they just look for fancy resumes, which is like brilliantly written with polished English and high vocabulary. So that's not what the intent is. All that they look at is, have you done that really genuinely? So if you say that, okay, I've seen the resumes where people say that with 2 years of experience, they have the company to do 500 million sales. That's okay, right? So I don't even know if you realize putting it up in the resume. So then that helps shows the reality of the candidate and couldn't go through with such kind of inflated metrics that are showing up in the resume. So don't go for it. Put what you have done truly and honestly, and that will land you into the job. That will help you to sustain the organization. Imagine you just go with a fake experience and fake promises in the resume. You wouldn't get through interview. Even if you get through the interview, and if you do not do what you did claim in the resume, it's gone. And organizations have probationary process. Organizations have performance management processes. If they don't see your true potential, yeah, sorry, they let go for sure, and that's how the layoffs happen, right? So people don't get picked up practically. They first target those people who are low performers. That's the people who are like will be sent. Right? So we have seen people who have been with the organization for 10 years, 15 years. Maybe it's bad timing that probably they may not be performing in that year. Obviously, they are low handling it. They don't go back and see, oh, this person was with the organization for 10, 15 years. Let's give a consideration. They don't think it that way. Have you been a performer in that year or not? So you have to compete with yourself every single year, right? There's no bad time, and so there are bad times that happens, but ensure that you don't get into the situation where there's an economy downtime and the organization not doing great. So let that not coincide with your bad time. Anyway, so don't just go with any sort of tip and advice that you just see on social media. Be careful and watchful. Apply your intellectual mindset into it and see if that's really sounding to be genuine and logical, then follow. Right? This isn't a one-way street. I would like to hear your thoughts too. If you ever have come across some HR advice that just doesn't sit right with you, you find it to be weird or vague, maybe it's something that you tried out that didn't go as planned by looking at these influencers, drop a comment and we can talk about it. And after all, we all are here to learn from each other and together, right? Thanks for watching Quick Tips and hope you like it.